So fall is supposed to be the second biggest time for real estate agents to sell properties, fall market. But is it a bust or a boom? I'm Tricia Farin, and this is Keeping the Real in Real Estate, where I talk to you about what's actually happening on the streets. And in the October market update, I wanted to talk about the fall market. I was really hoping that, based on everything I've been hearing from experts, that we were supposed to have an influx of homes coming up on the market and creating a bit of energy and boom for this next couple of months, the fall market. That is not happening. In fact, it's in the complete reverse. With interest rates spiking up at around 7.5% and inventory at its most incredible record lows ever, there's just not a lot happening out there. I have a ton of buyers literally sitting just waiting for properties to come on the market, and they're not coming on. Properties that have been on the market back in August, it was like crickets out there. People were just doing other things. Buyers are sick and tired of competing for ridiculously priced up charges on homes, one at a time. I have a client, she comes in from Brooklyn. She's got 5 children, and she'll come in all the way just to see one property. And sometimes by the time she goes back home, it's on a multi-offer situation and she can't compete. The reality is that the savings are not there for these buyers, and they don't have a ton of money to be able to just overbid on all these properties, the few properties that they can. And then on the same weekend, you'll get a house that had 71 offers. So how are we supposed to compete with this? I have sellers that don't want to sell their house because they believe that they have a low interest rate now and they don't want to pay the higher interest rate. And I completely and utterly understand that. However, there's never been a time where sellers have as much equity in their home as they do right now. And you can use that equity to pay for a better lifestyle. If that better lifestyle is going to cost you a little bit more in interest, isn't that worth it? Or is it? I know that if you're downsizing, you're going to have reduced maintenance costs. Oil prices are high. So fueling our homes this winter could be pretty pricey. And since everything is more expensive, we're kind of understanding that we're in line for that. But if you get a smaller house that has less all over maintenance, less in taxes, and gives you the lifestyle that you want, how much is that worth it to you? And is it worth it enough to take the equity out that you've built into your home, which you're still going to get because homes are selling higher than they should, truly. Sometimes I see houses on the market and I look at the price and I'm like, why? And then I do a quick comp and I'm like, because they can. That doesn't mean that you could be ridiculous in your pricing, but it certainly does mean that you can get what you need so that you can then switch your situation. If your job situation has changed, if your house occupancy size has changed, whether you're downsizing or having a baby or kids are coming back to live with you or parents, you have your whole situation that you're looking at. And is that situation worth the 3.5-4% interest rate that you're paying? Can you move up for a short time? Because the thought is that the rates will come down. So at least now you've had a chance to live in the lifestyle that you've been wanting to live, and you can always refinance. And there's a statement going out: marry the house and date the rate. And that's true. I mean, you could refinance at any point. If I'm talking to those who are renters, you're paying 100% interest because you're getting no equity out of that rental at all. So that I can't even understand why, if you want to be a homeowner, waiting is just not the thing to do. We can only tell you what's happening for real, what's happening in the market right now. I can't tell you what's going to happen a year from now. Experts thought that the interest rates were going to be at 5% by the end of 2023. They thought that the inventory was going to increase and that prices would stabilize. They were wrong, they were wrong, they were wrong. And those were the experts. So when I'm so frustrated with the whole situation, because for buyers who say, well, I'll just wait, these are the same set of buyers that when the rates went up to 5%, flipped out and said, no, we're going to put a pause on our buying situation. And now it's at 7.5. I mean, and it could go higher. So what I'm saying for everybody who is even thinking about a change in real estate, yes, you can wait, but what is it that you're waiting for? For prices to go down, for the interest rate to go down, for inventory to come up? You're going to be waiting years. That's what I see happening, because there's such a situation with inventory that it would require like a group of sellers, thousands of sellers, to say, okay, today we're all going to put our house on the market. That's not what's happening. There was a small uptick in September in terms of inventory, and depending on the city, small, not enough to move the needle. So what are you waiting for? Interest rates to go even higher, inventory to go even lower. If you want to build a house, you might have a little bit more flexibility with that, but just a little. And how much time are you willing to wait? Because you would need to then buy the land and start the build, unless you get into something that's already started, which you're going to have competition for. Investors, they're talking about people who are extending themselves on credit cards and depleting the savings that they were able to build. So it does have the potential for people to go into foreclosure more so than they have been in the last few years. Yes, that's going to open the door for the investors. It's also going to open the door for buyers who have any connection to a contractor at all. And they're not going to require the price to be as low to work out an investor's numbers the way the investors do. So I think it requires a little bit of mindset change if you think that you're going to make this a living of flipping homes, because you're not going to be able to work your formulas in the way that you were taught and the way that worked in the past. You're just competing not against other investors. You're competing against buyers who are willing to undertake some renovation just so that they can get into a house. There's just a lot. There's a lot of desire and demand out there, but there's a lot of apprehension. And I think that as a realtor who's seeing it, talking to sellers, talking to buyers, talking to builders, talking to investors, reading articles, listening to the experts, that's what I do. When I don't have transactions in place, I am researching and learning and trying to figure out what's going on so that I can properly educate my client base, which is made up of all types of people. And what I'm seeing is that homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer. There's been more price reductions. I have buyers that are kind of just saying, nope, I want to wait. And I have sellers who are scared that if they sell their house, they're not going to have a place to go. And that has been the common theme for a few years now. And I'm going to beat it and beat it down until you get it. It is your home. You get to decide when you close, how you close, and in what fashion you close. So if you need to close and rent back, if you need to delay closing, the cards are all in your hands and you get to make those decisions. And there are buyers who are willing to accept terms that are less than traditional. So if your situation is that you need a bigger house, you need a smaller house, you're looking for a one-level house, you want to get out of Dodge, you need a different town, your job is moving, your job is still remote, whatever your circumstances, I invite you to entertain the conversation. You don't have to commit to something, to just have a talk. We can do an equity evaluation on your property to see what is it worth and how much equity do you actually have to be able to pull out and put into something else. What are the actual options that are out there? When I do a search, I canvas everything. So what you're looking at on Zillow or Realtor or whatever you're using might be a small subset of what actually is available to you. Just sitting down and having a conversation about what your needs are and what's available. There might be loan programs that you don't know about. There could be a whole host of things that would make your decision-making process a little bit easier just if you had more information. Even if that decision is you're not ready to move for a couple of years. So I want everyone to just think about, first, close your ears to the media because they have a different agenda. Like I said, my boots are on the ground. I'm seeing this every day. And I can help you at least get the information that you need that's accurate for our area to help you decide on what it is that's going to be best for you today, next year, 5 years from now. I will do my best to provide as much information as you need so that it could avoid some of the confusion. So give me a call, stop being scared, and stop listening to the media. This is keeping the real in real estate because it is actually what's happening. No fluff, all transparency. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next month.